Welcome to NMA Tales and Stories, our African Folktales channel. Today, we bring you the story of a young boy named Abby, a story full of secrets, heartbreak, and the painful mistakes of love. Abby was just a little boy, but everywhere he went, the whispers followed him. Here comes Abby, the boy girl. Abby, are you going to stand to pee or squat like the girls? They called him Abby the manless, laughing at him, mocking him, because Abby didn't look quite like the other boys. But he was born like every other boy, whole and normal. So what happened to Abby? And why did his mother, who loved him deeply, never tell him the truth? This story reveals the consequences of choices made out of love and fear, choices that changed Abby's life forever. Parents and future parents, Abby's story is more than a tale, it's a lesson. A reminder of how our decisions can shape the lives of our children in ways we may never expect. Stay tuned, and let's uncover Abby's story together. In a village filled with the laughter of children and the warmth of family, lived a little boy named Abby. From a distance, Abby seemed like any other boy, but he carried a secret. A secret that made him the target of whispers, looks, and hurtful words from other children. And as he grew older, the weight of that secret grew heavier. Abby had been born without a part that other boys had. When they stood to pee, Abby had to squat, just like the girls. At first, he didn't mind so much, but as he grew older, the other children began to notice. Every day, Abby walked to school hoping for a day without teasing, but he was greeted with words like, "Here comes Abby, the boy girl. Abby, are you going to stand or squat today?" The laughter and mocking haunted him. His heart sank deeper each time he heard those words. But no one seemed to understand the pain he carried, not even his mother, who had always brushed off his questions about why he was different. One day, after school, Abby ran home with tears streaming down his face, his heart heavy with frustration and sadness. He found his mother sitting in the living room and burst out with a cry that had been building up for years. "Mom, why am I different? Why do other kids laugh at me? You said this was normal, but it doesn't feel normal." His mother shifted uncomfortably, fumbling for words. "Abby, it's just how you are. You were born special." But Abby wasn't convinced. This time, he needed the truth. He wanted to understand why he was so different from the other boys. Desperate, he went to his father, hoping he would finally get the answers he needed. Abby found his father in the workshop, seated with a grave expression, as if he had been waiting for this day. "Dad, please, tell me the truth," Abby begged. His father sighed, reaching for an old, rusted knife from a drawer. He looked down at the knife, sadness filling his eyes, and then he looked at Abby. "Abby, this knife holds the reason for all your pain," his father said softly. His father began to tell him the story of that day 6 years ago. Abby was barely able to walk, but he loved playing with everything, even sharp objects. Each time a caretaker tried to take them away, he would scream, and his mother would always step in. "Rapu ya," she'd say in their language, meaning, "Leave him alone. He's just a child." Abby's mother adored him so much that she couldn't stand to hear him cry. Even his father tried to warn her, but she was firm. One fateful day, Abby had found this knife. When the maid tried to take it from him, he screamed, and, as always, his mother ordered her to step back. Abby's father continued, his voice filled with pain. "You played with the knife, dragging its sharp edge across the floor. Until, suddenly, you stabbed yourself. Blood was everywhere. We rushed you to the hospital, but the only way to save you was to remove the injured parts." Abby's heart sank. All this pain, the years of humiliation, the constant teasing, it was because of one day, one decision. He felt an overwhelming wave of anger and bitterness toward his mother. The truth hit Abby hard. The memories of laughter, mocking, and pain flooded him, and he felt something inside him snap. Later that night, his father put the knife away, hiding it in the cupboard. But Abby had seen where it was placed. The next morning, Abby pretended to have a headache and stayed home from school. When his father left, Abby tiptoed to the cupboard, pulled out the knife, and stood outside his mother's room. She was napping, unaware of the anger bubbling up inside her son. In the evening, the family returned, calling for Abby and his mother, but the house was eerily silent. As they reached the bedroom, they were met with a horrifying scene. Abby's mother lay motionless, the cruel knife by her side. Abby sat in the corner, staring, with tears rolling down his cheeks. "Leave her alone. Rapu ya," he muttered, his voice empty and hollow. As the police arrived, Abby was taken away, still whispering those same words, "Leave her alone, leave her alone." The moral of the story. Abby's story is one of love, but also a lesson about the mistakes we make in the name of love. His mother adored him so much that she never wanted to see him cry. But love doesn't mean always saying yes. It means knowing when to say no, when to set boundaries. Children don't yet understand the dangers around them, which is why they depend on us for protection and guidance. Love your children, protect them, and teach them right from wrong, even when it's hard. Because sometimes, the consequences of ignoring a small danger today can grow into a tragedy tomorrow. Final message. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, but the rod of correction will drive it away from him. Proverbs 22 verse 15. Thank you for watching. If Abby's story touched you, please share it with others. Let's remember to protect our children and guide them, even when it's difficult.